Today we're going to have a look at these two knives made by very different companies, both in the USA, but this one came out way before. This is the Benchmade triage, featuring some pretty interesting tools for like first responders. So it's got the main knife, of course, as well as a glass breaker and also a safety hook. So about 2 years ago, I've noticed there's another knife company that makes a knife that's so similar to this that I was seriously thinking how this is possible. So this one is made by Hogue, and this one is called Chalma. Of course, the blade shape is different. They come in these different configurations. So I've got this one, which is similar to it's different from this one, which is sheep's foot, but they both come in the same configurations, which are opposing bevel as well as the sheep's foot. And Hogue's one is in every way just features very similar mechanisms and options. So you can see the glass breaker as well as the safety cutter. So today I'm going to do just a brief comparison and some examinations of the knives. So of course the two knives, both made in USA and both featuring G10, as well as the same blade steel, which are N680. The Hogue, however, come with this the pouch. One interesting thing about the sheath is that the glass breaker kind of really come out this way, so over time it's probably gonna poke a hole in here. The triage doesn't, but yeah, the steel on these are both 680, the N680 stainless steel, which is a very good performer in terms of rust resistant. And they both featuring G10 handles. However, I would like to point out the G10 on the triage is very coarse. So I put my hand on this. It's like this is similar to the Emerson sort of style G10. Benchmade almost never do this this kind of a G10, almost never. Whereas the triage, the G10 is very fine. Like, to be honest, when I first got my hand on it, I couldn't believe this is G10, because when I touch it, it's very almost the texture is just very smooth. And also it has like a plastic feeling for some reason. So yeah, I mean it is G10. You can see that it's actually you can see the layers. But the texture is very different. And the other thing is this Chalma made by Hogue features this oxygen range. So that's for tweaking the oxygen tanks. I never really find use for that, of course, because I'm not really a first responder. That's the one feature that is very similar, very different from the Benchmade. But other than that, you can see the shape and as well as just everything. They look very similar. And the other thing I would like to point out is the triage has a safety cutter, which is way smaller than the Benchmade's one. And this is a huge difference between the two. As you can see, it probably won't do any difference in terms of performance, but the triage one is just a whole lot more robust and thicker. I mean, I can see in some situations if you snag this onto something very strong by accident, you could possibly break this safety hook. But as long as I think you use it normal as a normal user, do not commit like accidents like that, you'll be fine. And the other thing is, I noticed that the Benchmade is actually ever slightly bit better built than the Hogue. So you can see the steel liners on the both knives. On the right we have the Hogue, which is little bit more rough on the liner's cutouts, and whereas the Benchmade is quite smooth. So this suggests that that's actually made in the stamp process. As far as I can deduct, this is a stamped liners, causing it to have a little bit more rough surface. Whereas this is actually either laser cut or a water jet cut, and it's quite precise. And this doesn't really matter. Like, I mean, if you're using the knife, it's not gonna make a difference. I'm just pointing out that the differences between the two knives. Of course, they feature both very interesting lock mechanisms, the Benchmade axis, and this is called able lock, but the two pretty much the same. Benchmade's patent on the axis lock has expired, so basically everybody's starting to do their own version of the axis lock, and I have no problem with that. In terms of glass breaker, the Benchmade has actually a ever slightly more blunt glass breaker than the Hogue. So, I mean, they're both still fairly pointy, but I can feel this is just ever slightly a bit more pointy. So there you go. The two knives are very similar, like brothers from different mothers. The Hogue comes with a very polished edge. It's almost like a mirror polish. So that's quite interesting. It's very sharp. And this thing is on a chisel grind, by the way. Open it quite easy, because it's similar to an axis lock. And the other interesting thing about this knife is that the serration on the Hogue, comparing with a lot of traditional styled serrations. On the right, I have a old Benchmade knife, and you can see the serration is a lot more aggressive on the Hogue. The teeth is very sharp. I hope you enjoyed the video and you can make your own decision on which one to buy. I'm just finding this one is like, it feels very different when you put it in your hand, but when you look at it, it looks so similar to the triage. Alright, I'll see you in the next video, and please subscribe to my channel for further videos.